Well, Maxwell Arboretum is just in full bloom right now. As you can see, probably like your yards, you've had one great thing after another, and the Arboretum's like that too. We're just full of color. It's just radiant here with all the different colors we have. And because of the good weather, the flowers are staying on longer than ever. So nothing's knocked them off, and so we're really great. We're happy with the weather and happy with the way plants are performing right now. So today we're going to go look at a few flowering trees. A lot of us have had our crab apples have already done their thing, so some of those early trees are done already, a little earlier than normal. So we're going to look at some things that you normally wouldn't run into, but that are available at your local nurseries. First one we'll look at is a purple leaf smoke tree. What's nice about this is it has these very airy blooms. They're just getting ready to open here, so we're kind of right on the cusp of their full flower. And you can see we have some nice kind of multicolored leaves. There's a little green, and the purple's just starting to come on, and as the heat of the summer comes on, they'll deepen in their color of purple. And they have a nice smooth bark, so it's an attractive small tree. It do well in a place that has a little bit of protection, but again, smoke tree, maybe one you might want to consider. One of the other trees that are becoming increasingly popular, and as our temperatures become milder each winter, are the flowering dogwoods. And there's a nice group of them. This one is stellar pink, but they're a hybrid out of Rutgers, and so there's a variety of them out there that do very well in our region. We're the old kind of Cornus, Florida, the old-fashioned Florida flowering dogwood. It's sometimes a little iffy in our zone. These are very, very tough. They handle our climate well, and you can see that they really do a nice job flowering right now. So this is something you might want to consider, is this stellar pink flowering dogwood. This next tree is one that everyone that's watching this broadcast should purchase one and have one in their yard, if you don't already have one, and maybe most of you do. But this is this Briati red horse chestnut. It's just a beautiful tree, has these great flowers. It has not an edible fruit, but kind of these big nuts that come on at the later in the summer. Nice leaves, and as they get larger, it really is just a spectacular tree. I really love these trees. So this is one you may want to consider if you can find it, is this Briati red horse chestnut. The next two trees we're going to look at are fringe trees. This one here is American fringe tree, and you can see it is just putting on a spectacular show, and they're a fragrant flower as well. So unlike some of the others we're looking at that aren't very fragrant, this really, if this is close to a back door or a screened window, something like that you could crack open, you would really just fill the house full of this nice perfume. So very hardy, does very well here in Nebraska for us. Not really any serious issues, not even a lot of pruning with this one either. So great tree is American fringe tree. The other one is Chinese fringe tree. They're very similar. The Chinese fringe tree is a little bit bigger, is maybe my experience. So if you're looking for something a hair taller, maybe 4 or 5 feet taller, you might want to consider the Chinese fringe tree. This spectacular tree is yellowwood, and you can see it's just covered in these wisteria-like white flowers. There's a nice fragrance coming off of them. It is easily, this is its finest year. So I'm sure having a relatively mild winter and a nice spring has contributed to it. It is a reliable flower. Every spring we'll have a good number of flowers on the trees, but this is just an incredible year for yellowwood. We have several on campus that are all doing this. So unlike the other trees we looked at, this is a larger tree, and you could use this more like a shade tree. The other trees that we looked at are trees that you're going to want to use kind of as understory trees in protected sites. They do well in Nebraska, but we don't want to have them out exposed to the worst of the summer or the worst of the winter. So we want them in a spot that's protected a little bit.